It is so on like Donkey Kong. And if things go the way that I hope they go this week, and Kaser is HOH, I'm ready for the other side to start sweating. You're probably saying to yourself, why would I be happy about the other side sweating? Remember, you said that you're not rooting for anybody. I'm not, but at the same time, I love when Big Brother's little scale tips to each side. And it looked to me like Kaser did pretty well in this competition so far. But anything can happen. Alright guys, for those of you who don't know, I'm Sage Valentine. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my weekly review of CBS's Big Brother Season 22. This review is all about episode number 10. It's pretty much the eviction episode. As I told my followers and to all the newbies that are watching right now, I only do this once a week. I used to do it every single day, and I ended up having to do videos late because of TV shows. So I figure once a week isn't so bad. Alright, you guys ready? Here goes. This is my review. Eviction episode number 10, season 22, CBS Big Brother. Let's get down to it. So, Nicole Anthony was evicted last week, and reverberations of her mistakes echoed into this week. And if somebody from the lower side doesn't win HOH, it's going to echo again and again until there's basically nobody on the other side unless they decide to join the big alliance. It's pretty much how it goes. This whole situation gives me like the Hive Foul Tea level 6 teas from season 20. Yeah. Also, we're going to get really in depth with what happened with David because I actually have been watching the feeds more than the show. That's another reason why I haven't been watching the show live. Because I pretty much want to focus on the feeds and I want to see what's going on with the feeds and what's happening, because there's more going on with the feeds than there is on the show. And if you want to continue to watch the HOH competitions when they do this whole let's end the show with the HOH, sign up for the feeds. I'll leave a link below along with my link to my video about racism in reality TV. And if you want me to link any other videos that I've done on that topic, especially as it is in regard to Big Brother, I'll definitely link that below. But at this point in the game, I'm going to talk gameplay and gameplay only. Nobody in this season can say that things are not personal, because 1, 2, 3 evictions all have been personal, not strategic. Because if they were strategic right now, Ian and Nicole Franzel would be sweating bullets because both of those players won. They should not be as comfortable as they are. And honestly, another person who's very comfortable in the game, even though they don't seem like they're comfortable, is Kevin. Kevin is extremely comfortable because his name is like the last on the list when it comes to conversations. So he's doing just fine. Him, Nicole, and Ian, just fine. And David was kind of there until that mess this week. But let's get into this review. All right, as far as episode 8 is concerned, as I said before, Nicole was evicted. Tyler's the HOH. He's happy he's in charge. He can target Janelle and Kaser. Janelle feels at this point like she and Kaser are in trouble, obviously. Once they got Nicole out, they had to get the 2 bigger targets out, even though those 2 targets never officially targeted them because they haven't won anything, but I digress. All right, so David is super happy that he survived another week and he's besties with Tyler. Well, he was until he made that big mistake. He was. All right, so that other side, the popular kids, there are alliances within alliances within alliances, but the core alliance is Cody, Tyler, and Enzo. That's the core alliance. They only trust each other. Then they created another alliance where they added Bailey, Danny, and Davon. It's just too many alliances as usual. So pretty much they had to choose who was a have-not this week. David chose, well, David didn't even choose Enzo. Enzo was like, well, I'll do it. Because David was like kind of going back and forth as to whether or not he should give it to Memphis. I'm just like, after that display Memphis put on, you should have said, hey, Memphis, I want you to be a have-not. No hard feelings. Kaser, pretty much Cody pretty much said that he wanted to do it. And Nicole Franzel gave it to Janelle, and then Christmas gave it to Bailey. It was supposed to be this whole big joke of giving it to Bailey, and Bailey was supposed to blow up, because for those of you who don't have the feeds, there was this whole conversation about Bailey blowing up and getting all upset, and Bailey seemed fine. She seemed okay with being a have-not. So pretty much Nicole made this speech, and she said she made Janelle a have-not because Janelle talked about her and she's being extremely petty. It's pretty much a personal reason why. And I'm just like, come on, dude. This has nothing to do with the game. Like, just give her the, have-not and call it a day. Anyway, Janelle is over Nicole. We're all over Nicole. If you have the feeds, you are completely over Nicole unless you're a Nicole fan. But most people are done with Nicole F at this point. All right, so Kaser was like, listen, it's going to be a rough week. He and Janelle know that they're targets, and they consider the idea of asking Memphis to use the safety on them. Now, I knew from the jump, I was like, Memphis isn't going to do it. He barely wants to do anything in this game. If memory serves, when he was on the show, he barely wanted to do anything like hard during his season. That's just the type of player that he is. And he feels like it puts him in a terrible position if he wins that safety. So he was pretty much going to throw the competition. And Janelle knew he was lying from the jump. So it was what it was. Big Brother decided to have some bidet segment. I was just like, what is the purpose of this bidet segment? But okay, I guess a lot of people don't know about bidets. I've seen one. I've never used it. I always found the idea of using it kind of strange, having water in your bottom and your space crack. Yeah, that. Anyway, they give us a segment with Kaser and Janelle and their best friends, and then they pretty much tell us what the feedsters already know, that Janelle and Kaser are targets. And Danny overheard that conversation that happened last week with Janelle, Kaser, Bailey, and Davon. I believe that was like I don't remember if Nicole was in the room, but I thought Nicole was in the room. I'm probably off about that. Anyway, she's all upset because they're talking game. And I'm just like, how are you upset about people talking game when you do the same thing? That makes no sense at all. So I'm like, I guess people are not allowed to talk game. Now, this whole not talking game in the house thing started back in season 16 and it's continued over and over again. Hopefully season 23 ends this, because I'm getting tired of these people getting mad because somebody wants to talk game with someone else. You're playing a game. You're going to talk game. It is what it is. This is Big Brother. Trust no one. Then all of a sudden they're saying that Davon is dangerous, and some people are probably confused. The feedsters pretty much know that Davon has been going around the house and kind of planting seeds and dropping bombs and things like that. And she kind of got caught by Danny, and I believe it was Nicole, and the guys were targeting her at one point. Then all of a sudden, the guys started realizing that Danny and Nicole are running around saying stuff. It's a whole crazy mess. So pretty much Enzo, Nicole, Memphis, and Danny decide to use their safety pass. And what happens is that, Davon wants one of them that's in her alliance, that's playing in the game, to give her the second safety pass so she can have some sort of punishment, because she's never had a punishment. Never. All right, I'm looking at it like, this is crazy. This is foolish to do this, to go asking everybody. Well, it gets everyone all upset. They start looking at Davon as being a little bit shaky, shady, a little shifty, a little sketchy. See that word? Don't like that word. Anyway, Kaser said he hopes that Memphis wins the safety suite so that he can keep either him or Janelle safe, and then they could kind of save each other. So we get to the safety suite, and pretty much Enzo won, and he saved Christmas. And the funny thing about Enzo winning was that he told Davon he was going to give it to her, but then at the last minute he decided to change his mind, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to use this on Christmas to reel Christmas in. Now, I don't know why Davon trusted him, because I wouldn't have trusted him. But then again, I've watched the show. I don't know if she's watched that far back, but I watched the show. I remember his season. I remember the type of person that Enzo was. I wouldn't have trusted him at all about that. But then again, I'm at home watching this, and she sees it from a completely different angle, but I don't think I would have trusted him. So Tyler's upset that Davon doesn't trust him, and I'm like, when have you given Davon a reason to trust you? If she's seen your season, if anybody's seen Tyler's season, they should not trust him at all. He's a great player, but he cannot be trusted. All these different alliances, all these different final 2 deals with everybody, he should not be trusted. So pretty much, Kaysar tried to appeal to Tyler, but Tyler's like, Kaysar kept putting my name out there, but Kaysar's like, listen, I respect whatever you decide to do. Janelle admits that she threw Nicole's name around. She said she wasn't targeting him, said that he should keep the competition beast, which is her, in the house, and ask if he could give her a chance to save herself. So we get to the nomination ceremony, and pretty much Tyler nominates Kaysar and Janelle. We already knew this. He said so, and I've known all weekend based on the feeds. He said that both of them are straightforward. They tried to flip the votes and spread nonsense. Tyler's like, they both are massive players. If either of them come off, then Davon is an option. Kaysar says he can't catch a break, him and Janelle. Somebody is going to come back pissed regardless of who is left in the house. Janelle says she wants to show the house what she's made of. Sad that she didn't get a chance to do that. I mean, she showed all of us, the fans, but she didn't get to show these folks what she's made of. So pretty much we get to episode 9. Tyler said that Janelle and Kaysar are the biggest threats. Time for someone to make a big move. I don't know if this is a big move, though. I mean, yeah, Kaysar and Janelle are pretty, like, hardcore players, but they haven't won anything. And you have all these threats on your side. Like, a bigger move would have been to maybe target somebody like Nicole F. Because Nicole F has been, like, kind of annoying some people on that side a little bit. Or to target somebody like Ian. But he chooses Janelle and Kaysar, so. I mean, it's his HOH. Let him do what he wants to do. Let me know how you feel about it right below. Janelle's like, listen, I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of seeing me upset. Nicole F said it's karma because Janelle's not nice to her. I'm like, sweetie, this isn't high school. This is Big Brother. Like, what is with this high school thing? It's Big Brother. People are not going to like each other. People play hard and they go on about their business. Only recently, since season 16, has everything become emotional and personal. Before that, it was gameplay, gameplay, gameplay. And it wasn't the whole house doing personal things if there were players, and it probably were a couple who did it, but it wasn't everybody in the whole season playing personal. Kaysar says that he's been on the block with Janelle 4 times. He's never done it without her. He's all sad. So pretty much, Tyler's talking to Davon, and Davon's trying to, make sure that he knows that she's still on his side, so he won't put her as a replacement nominee, even though that's his idea, and he's not changing from that if somebody decided to use the veto, but we all know that person did not. So, Janelle and Kaysar have nobody, and they're trying to figure out how to survive this week. Bailey doesn't see Janelle as a threat, and she feels like she could save Janelle. And if Janelle leaves, she and Janelle agreed that they're going to come after Bailey and the rest of them once Janelle leaves. And Bailey's like, listen, if she wins the veto, she'll decide what's good for her game to do. So, again, Janelle was right. Kaysar was right. They don't have anybody in the house at this point. So Danny gets a whole segment of how she likes to plant seeds to stab people in the back. She said Enzo's along for the ride. Memphis might be working with them. Davon and Bailey are an alliance and will benefit her game. Tyler, she likes him, but then she doesn't know if she could beat him in the end. Tyler has to make sure to get rid of her #1 target, aka Janelle. For those of you who don't have the feeds, you don't know that Tyler and Cody, the last time I watched the feeds, which was yesterday, they're on to Nicole Franzel and Danny. They're on to them. So we get a segment about Janelle's facial care, and she does a vampire facial. She has a cream for everything. So anyway, we get to picking the veto players. Tyler chooses Cody, Janelle chooses Memphis, and Kaysar chooses Bailey. Danny doesn't know where Bailey's loyalty lies as far as their little fake alliance, but she says that she'll keep the nominations the same, and by she, I mean Bailey, when Danny talks to her. So Kaysar is worried about the veto, but he said he came to fight. So we get down to the veto competition. It's Cupcake Clash Championship, and pretty much Cody won. I'm not even surprised. Once he got chosen, I was like, Cody's going to end up winning this. I could feel it. Kaysar's upset, obviously. Janelle's upset, obviously. And the big alliance, as Memphis says, pretty much has control of the house this week. So Kaysar's depressed. Christmas, Nicole and Danny feel like Memphis threw the competition, and believe it or not, he actually didn't. He was actually trying to win the competition and just messed up royally. That's funny. When he's trying not to throw it, he ends up looking like he's throwing it. That's funny. So Janelle's pretty much the target. She's the bigger target. She tells Kaysar this, and she's like, listen, Kaysar, just sit back this week and just chill. Kaysar wants to cut a deal with the other side of the house to keep them. And, you know, this segment in episode 9, this is Wednesday's episode I'm talking about, basically makes it seem like Memphis was a possible replacement nominee. No, he never was. Wasn't going to happen. So Christmas basically has to pretty much be mom in the house, a big brother, and she has an all-star baby, and the whole thing with the safety suite punishment is called the All Stars Born. She ends up with about 8 to 10 star babies, and it's super hilarious, and I absolutely loved that segment because it was like 1 baby, 2 babies, 3 babies, just star babies everywhere, crying all night long. Hilarious. So Janelle goes to Cody, and she pretty much proposes that it would be good for Tyler's game, you know, to keep her because she's a target. She doesn't win competitions. I believe she talked to Tyler at this point. It wasn't Cody yet. Then she talked to Cody, and she said, you know, she would like to work with Cody and take out the floaters. And Cody's like, you know, the devil, they know, is less dangerous than the snake in the grass. So the snake in the grass they were talking about was obviously Nicole Franzel. So Christmas's little children interrupt the veto ceremony because they all start crying, which is cute. Cody decided obviously not to use the veto. He didn't want to ruffle any feathers. Is anybody going to do like something and make a huge move that's actually going to like propel this game forward? Or is everyone going to continue this trend that's been happening since 16 of, I want to do what the house wants. I don't want to play my own game. I want to do what the house wants. So pretty much, and I didn't even turn my light on. Why didn't you guys tell me? Oh, right. It's fine. I forgot to turn my light on, so it's on now. So pretty much, let's see. Cody says it's time to get rid of either Kaysar or Janelle. Bailey said she's going to try to get votes to save Janelle. Danielle is happy. Janelle, she says she doesn't play a scared game, and she's going to have to show these kids how to play this game. So then we move on to tonight's game, and I have less notes because honestly, I was literally in the car on the way back home to watch this. Like, I literally got in, I think, like 15 minutes into the episode, so I was like rushing, like, oh my god, I gotta catch up, I gotta catch up, I gotta catch up. Anyway, pretty much Janelle was always the target, like I just said earlier in the video. There was nobody else that was gonna go up. It was pretty much Janelle and Kaysar. That was it. That's why if you looked online, you looked on Twitter, you looked in the tags, everybody was kind of like, this weekend is boring. This week is boring. We know who's going home. Like, they were begging Big Brother. They were begging Allison Grodner. They were begging the BB gods, the powers that be, to change the game, and they didn't, as you can see tonight. So let's chat about that whole situation with David, okay? David was in the room talking to Bailey and to Davon, and he was kind of telling them everything that Tyler said. And I mean everything. And I'm like, what is David doing? Like, why would you do that? You're telling them, I get it. Then as the show showed, he turned around and told Tyler that he told them. And I said, now wait, what's going on? Like, what's happening? Like, what is going, like, what is happening? What's he doing? And like, that whole mess could have been avoided if he hadn't told Tyler. So now he's on the outs with Tyler. David's just, A lot of people are saying David is stupid, but I'm starting to believe that this is all a part of David's plan to just cause chaos. Like, him and Kevin are just causing chaos all through the house. And at this stage of the game, it's time to start treating David like he's actually playing the game instead of treating David like he's completely clueless, because I'm more than sure Big Brother would not allow anybody to come into this game that does not know even the tertiary rules of Big Brother at all. He claimed last season he watched one season. I truly believe that when he left last summer, he watched the rest of those seasons and he's just playing games because he's driving people crazy in the house. He's upsetting Davon. Davon basically put her game on the line for him and ruined her game for him. I mean, he's just doing too much. He thinks he's in with the other side, but really they want to use him as a pawn when they need a pawn. It's just a complete mess. And now Bailey's coming up to Davon saying that David is intimidated by Davon. I don't believe that. I don't believe it at all. The fact that they're even working with him surprises me, because if I was in the game, I don't know if I would trust him, especially after the situation with Kemi and how, like, he added fuel to the fire in that situation. So you pretty much know, and if you don't, you could kind of go back, I guess, if you have time through my videos. And there's one where I really sit down and I really talk about what he did. But, like, he kind of buried Kemi even further, and she was already buried, by, like, you know, giving the other side ammunition to throw at her. Now he's in this game completely ratting on Bailey and Davon. He's basically doing the same thing, except this season, Jack and Jackson and the crew are not here. So he's doing the same thing, ruining another person's game. Another two people's game, to be exact. So, Tyler said that David is dead to him, and he told Cody, I don't know why there's like a weird sound. It must be one of my cats. If you hear the woo sound, it's probably one of my cats. Anyway, he told Cody that David threw him and Cody and their alliance under the bus to Davon. So now Davon doesn't trust him. I don't understand why they're so worried about Davon trusting them if they want to get Davon out by week 7 or they want to get her out before jury. Like, make that make sense, because I'm trying to understand. If you guys can explain that to me in the comments below, definitely do that. But I'm trying to get it, because I'm just like, you want her out, and then you want, but at the same time, you want her to trust you. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, and Davon did try to flip those votes to get David out of the house. That was true. That was very true. And Tyler is worried that David is exposing him in the alliance. Yeah, he already did. So pretty much, Janelle and Kaser, it's time for them to make their final pleas to stay in the house, or their speeches. And pretty much, Janelle says she loves each and everyone in the house, and if she can benefit your game, then they should keep her. Kaser said that he came back to play and make an impact. So in a vote of 2-9, Danny and Enzo were the only two people in the house that did not vote for him to go. They voted for him to stay. Janelle received votes from Ian, Kevin, David, Christmas, Cody, Bailey, Memphis, Davon, and Nicole Franzel. So 9-2, she was out of the house. So she was interviewed with Julie Chen. She looked absolutely amazing. She said that she was not going to come out to see Julie without wearing a cocktail dress. She finds out that Danny and Enzo were the two people that voted to keep her. She said that she wanted to work with Tyler, but she ended up working with older players like Keisha and Kaser. She learns that Memphis and Christmas were in the big alliance, and pretty much that conversation that she had with Memphis regarding the big alliance, or the 4-person alliance as she thought it was, basically sealed her fate. But how the heck was she supposed to know? We knew, but how the heck was she supposed to know in this game? So she gets her goodbye messages. Bailey said that she was great for her game, but she couldn't keep her. Cody said he had to target her. It was either her or Kaser. Nicole Franzel said, basically, don't come to her wedding. I'm like, after what she did in the house, I wouldn't expect her to come to the wedding, but that's just me. Kaser said that he will make sure that everybody in this house pays. I'm waiting to see that, because that'll be awesome to watch. Anyway, Janelle says she's worried about Kaser because Kaser doesn't know who else is in the alliance, and he's going to end up talking to Memphis and end up telling things to Memphis. It's going to be a big mess, but hopefully Kaser finally realizes what's going on. Like, maybe BB Kind of tells them, listen, there's 2 more people in that alliance, and no, it's not Bailey and Davon. Julie Chen lets her know, listen, Bailey, Davon, and Kevin didn't want to make waves at this point in the game, but they should have. Because if one of them doesn't win HOH, they're on their way out. And then we pretty much got to the HOH competition. HOH competition number 3, the Carnival Quick Shot. But nobody was winning, but it looked like Kaser was doing just fine. Yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm Sage Valentine. Thank you for watching my video, like you guys always do. Hello to all the newbies and the stragglers and those who just watch the videos and don't say anything. Hello. I know, shade. Anyway, I'll be back next week to do Eviction video number 4. Love you all. Take care. And I'm going to go and upload this video. Peace out, guys. Bye, guys. Bye.